He can talk to the spirits, he doesn't have to fear it, and they're always gonna hear it, cause you know he's got a yokai watch.
Yokai are everywhere, and you may not even believe they're there. This is Level 5's Yokai Watch, specifically Season 1 of the English dub of the anime. Yeah, the franchise's 10th anniversary celebration started recently, and I decided to revisit the games and the anime, and also decided, hey, why not share my up-to-date thoughts on the show? It's the story of Nate Adams, an everyday average boy who stumbles upon a strange capsule machine in the forest. Once he turns the crank and opens the prize, his life is changed forever as he meets Whisper, his now self-proclaimed yokai butler. Whisper then gifts Nate the Yokai Watch, a device that allows Nate to see the beings known as yokai, world-wandering spirits responsible for many of life's good and bad occurrences. It's now up to Nate, his butler Whisper, and the adorable Jibanyan to discover and befriend these countless yokai, or risk daily life becoming weird forever. Quite the synopsis, wouldn't you say? And as you would probably guess from it, the show is probably episodic, right? Well, there is actual continuity to keep track of, and ongoing stories as well. Plural. So enough dilly-dallying, let's get into it.
What is this?
A yokai medal! It's a symbol of your friendship with a yokai!
So, the story. Unlike most shows which either have one ongoing story or multiple unrelated stories, Yokai Watch has both. You see, each episode is split into multiple segments. These segments can vary, with the most common being Nate having to stop a new yokai from causing trouble. You can expect 1 to 2 of those in every episode. However, there's also a multitude of mini-series within the show, primarily focusing on different yokai's lives. These yokai mainly include the likes of Komasan, Komijiro, and Manjimat. And to watch each of these mini-series in order, you have to watch small groups of episodes in order, about 5 to 6 episodes each mini-series. And while I would say in general you need to watch the show in order because Nate befriends new yokai all the time, he mainly summons Jibanyan throughout Season 1, so it's not that big a deal at first. But I'd still recommend watching the show in order considering how many episodes it has. Oh, and one of the episodes in Season 1 is a follow-up to Jibanyan's story, as well as a teaser for the first Yokai Watch movie. So that one is a necessity. Not like you'd want to skip it anyway, it's probably the best episode in Season 1. So yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot of different story types in this show. Something for everyone, I guess. But I would say that the most consistently entertaining are Nate's encounters with new yokai. They follow a similar format every time, but hey, it works.
Name's Komasan. Glad to meet y'all.
Now, the characters. There's technically dozens, but let's focus on the reoccurring ones. We have our main star, Nate Adams, an average boy trying to live his best life even with the yokai being a permanent addition to it. Interestingly enough, him being an average boy actually works in the show's favor, since the yokai add uniqueness to his character, just like the esteemed yokai butler, Whisper. The first yokai to enter Nate's life, never leaving his side, always doing his best to help Nate deal with other mischievous yokai. He isn't the smartest or the strongest, but you better believe he cares deeply and works his absolute hardest to be the best yokai butler Nate could ever ask for, which is endlessly endearing. Then there's the almost carefree Jibanyan. Run over by a truck, taking him away from his owner Amy. Jibanyan practices fighting trucks every day in the hopes that one day he'll be strong enough to be with Amy again. Unfortunately, his cat instincts also make him pretty lazy and careless, so he's got a long way to go. Jibanyan actually has a bit of depth to him. While he is an eccentric cat yokai, he also has an established goal he wants to achieve, and it's never forgotten about either. Not to mention the special episode he gets to himself is one of the best, so that's a huge plus. But if you're not really a cat person, there's also Komasan and Komijiro, wandering country Komainu yokai. Komasan is a peaceful soul who came to the city with his brother to discover what life is like there. He doesn't understand it, but he'll do his best to figure it out for his little brother Komijiro, who gets quite acquainted with it much quicker than Komasan would have expected. These two are very charming characters. They're caring and kind, and their dynamic of reserved country bumpkin versus the outgoing city boy allows for some fun scenarios to take place. No wonder these two are so beloved. Other recurring characters include Nate's parents, his human friends, and of course, his numerous strange yokai friends. And believe me when I say, they're really strange. Every time Nate encounters a yokai, he does end up befriending them, even if it isn't always directly seen. Heck, sometimes he befriends yokai you don't even see him meet. Some of the most notable ones include Mangy Mutt, Rough Raff, Hung Gramps, Tattletale, Hubie, Blazion, Hydabat, and Robanyan. Every yokai has their own unique and spirit effects and personalities, ranging from relatively normal to extremely absurd. So even though the formula of the new yokai segments is basically the same every time, it doesn't get stale nearly as quickly as you'd think it would. Thank goodness for that, since there's hundreds of segments down the line. Like, you have no idea how many yokai there are. There's probably more yokai than taters in Idaho.
It was a hot summer day when I encountered something strange.
Ah yes, the animation. It's very good. Lots of wild expressiveness and movement, dynamic shots, colorful environments, nice character designs. It's all really pleasing stuff. However, my main critique is that sometimes proportions and sizes are noticeably off. And yeah, I know that's a common issue in most animated shows, heck, in most animated anything, but when it happens in Yokai Watch, it's very hard not to notice. But hey, doesn't take away from the overall fantastic visuals of the show. So, the music. Well, considering this is Yokai Watch, the music is really good. For the most part, a lot of the tracks are reused from the game, which isn't a surprise or a problem, because of course they'd use the game's music for the anime. It's literally too good not to use. But when it comes to the theme song of the English dub, there's two of them. An English version of the original Gara Gara Po theme song by King Cream Soda, or the English exclusive Swampy Marsh Yokai Watch theme song. And no brainer, Gara Gara Po is way better of a theme song, even in English. The Swampy Marsh theme is just not fitting of the show's tone, and was clearly another attempt at further disconnecting Yokai Watch from its Japanese roots. I mean, it's not a bad theme song, but it's a bad Yokai Watch theme song. But the lyrics have become somewhat iconic since Western audiences had Swampy Marsh permanently, so oh well.
Where have you been?
I don't know, in some sort of bizarre time warp. But I'm totally back now. All's good.
Season 1 of the Yokai Watch anime is unsurprisingly just like the first Yokai Watch game. A decently good time that serves as the first steps to something truly amazing. I was pleasantly surprised revisiting this anime with fresh eyes and still having a fun time with it. Of course, someone like me has grown very attached to these characters and franchise in general, but that doesn't mean that I'd let attachment cloud my better judgment. Because I mean, it's not like good word of mouth is gonna do anything for the show. I'm just being honest with my thoughts, and I thought it was pretty fun. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, considering the anime is what got most people into the franchise in the first place, both in and out of Japan. So considering its qualities and importance to the franchise's legacy, I'm giving Season 1 of the Yokai Watch anime a B+. It's true what they say, once a yokai enters your life, things will never be quite the same. And with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I also hope you don't mind liking and subscribing if you did. It really helps me out. And well, have a great day everyone!